Hi, I'm Michael Joseph, and this is a special audio submission and presentation for the MJ Cast. Michael Jackson versus Prince in 9 chapters. The beginning. The story of Michael Jackson and Prince began much earlier than many of us may think. Both were born in 1985 in the Midwest of America, and both grew up in a black family. Both grew also up in a musical surrounding and probably were introduced to music by their fathers. Michael more extremely, Prince not. Both fathers had a band, and both kids learned how to sing and dance soon. Michael was forced by his father, but Prince learned a lot by himself due to his competitive nature. Also, in their influences were very similar. While Prince danced at a James Brown concert on stage as a 9-year-old, Michael met JB backstage and they soon became friends. As a major influence also is to call Sly and the Family Stone. Jermaine, Michael's brother, also wrote he was a huge fan of George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic, which also was a favorite of Prince. He and Clinton even performed together years later. While Michael started his career, Prince discovered his hometown Minneapolis and was confronted with a primarily white population, which of course did not listen to soul and funk music the most. While listening to white radio, Prince discovered artists like Joni Mitchell and founded his first band in high school, while trying to start a sports career. Soon he founded a group he played local shows with, so when he was right about to start, Michael already had about top 10 singles and an old TV show with his band, now called the Jacksons. But Prince did not ignore him. He even went to a Jackson show. In the documentary Prince authorized, you can also hear a fellow musician say, "We tried to sound like Michael Jackson." So maybe even Prince's significant falsetto came from him listening to MJ. In 1978, Prince released his debut album, For You, with dirty funk and black-inspired rock. The first hit single had the erotic title Soft and Wet. Several sources tell that Janet Jackson, Michael's sister, really loved that song and brought it to Michael, who played it at his Neverland Ranch all day long later. Chapter 2. The First Confrontation. Music journalist Cynthia Horner from Right On magazine remembers flipping through magazines with Michael, and he discovered Prince in an interview with thisis50.com. She wanted to know who Prince is and probably feared to be replaced by this newcomer. In 1979, both released their breakthrough albums. Michael had Off the Wall and Prince a self-titled debut. On the stage, the fight began. One hit single topped another, but Michael set a record for the most #1 singles by a black artist of one album. After Prince had an embarrassing appearance on Dick Clark's American Bandstand, with a great performance by the way, Prince told his band his motto, "That's never gonna happen again." Chapter 3. 1999 vs. Thriller. The fight begins. In 1982, Prince released his double album 1999. It builds on rock funk fusion and unites a black and a white sound in one. It speaks to a very broad public. This album soon became a hit and the title song went to #1. While 1999 climbed to the top, Michael worked on his goal to not be ignored anymore. He was devastated that Off the Wall did win just 1 Grammy. His goal was to make an album that can't be ignored. He wanted to do the best-selling album of all time. the result certainly was what he expected. Thriller followed 1999 in December of 1982, which turned out to be the perfect time for this. The audience was now familiar with the pop soul fusion enough to honor Thriller, which had on one side a serious funk appeal, but on the other hand presented pure white rock, but also added more poppy sound to some R&B bangers like Billie Jean. The single Beat It, which featured Eddie Van Halen on guitar, was probably the first song by a black artist to enter the top 5 of the Billboard charts. Michael did not only sing and play music, but he also visualized it. His 1983 short film Thriller is a revolution for itself. The incredibly expansive short film for the album's title track brought all boundaries of race down. Prince now wanted to hold against it. Sources claim that this next project was inspired by his aim to have a similar success like Thriller. He didn't want to do just a music video, but a movie with his protégés and band, of course, his music and him starring. Chapter 4: The James Brown Jam. On August 30th, 1983, the first meeting between Michael and Prince took place. They both attended a show of James Brown with B.B. King. Both idolized James Brown since their early childhood. Brown obviously only knew Michael, that he was there, and after a performance of his hit It's a Man's World, Brown pointed out Michael in the audience. MJ did a stunning impersonation like he was doing it since the early Jackson 5 years. After that, Michael insisted Brown to bring up Prince. Prince did a guitar performance as twice as long Jackson did. He obviously tried to challenge him. After that, he went off stage, knocked the light pole off, and forgot his jacket on stage. Rapper Jenkins commented on his podcast Moonwalk Talks. That was Prince in his bad boy days. Recently, Prince protege Jill Jones told Mr. Chris, a Houston DJ, in an interview on his radio show, The Soul Brothers Show, that Michael actually invited Prince to see James Brown that night. Chapter 5: Duets and Ping Pong. Since Prince often used to challenge Michael, his movie Purple Rain did well at the box office, and his rock singles like Let's Go Crazy and the mega hit Purple Rain itself went to number 1 because of Beat It's breakthrough rock soul fusion success. But Michael had huge plans. For his next album, he wanted to duet with Prince. He set up a meeting to present the song he wrote, Bad. Prince did not seem to like the song. He recorded an own version and sent it back to Michael with the caption, "This is how I think your song should sound, but I'm still not gonna sing it with you." The video concept was already there. A dance-off between the two with Prince kicking Michael's ass. Prince's character was replaced by Wesley Snipes. Prince also brought a mysterious box with him to their meetings, and Michael thought he was a voodoo and wanted to curse him. But they still managed to stay in contact. Michael used to send Prince footage of Sly Stone performing in Europe because he knew that they shared a passion for his music. Sometimes they also used to play basketball at Paisley Park. One funny story tells that Michael even flirted with Prince's future wife, Maite Garcia, and visited 2 shows of the Purple Rain tour, according to Bobby C. And also, The Way You Make Me Feel was performed in a break medley at the Sign o' the Times tour and the Lovesexy tour. Of the Lovesexy tour in 1988, which took place parallelly to Michael Jackson's Bad World Tour. Chapter 6: Music for Batman. In 1989, Prince was supposed to do the soundtrack of the first Batman movie. Writer Tim Burton wanted it to be a collaboration between Michael Jackson and Prince. Prince should provide the funky tracks and Michael the ballads, but the composer wanted a more unified soundtrack, so Prince did it himself. Chapter 7: Defending. In 1991, Prince was interviewed by Chris Rock. In this interview, he was asked if he would see a rivalry between Michael and him. "No, not to me," was his answer. In the following time, Prince used to wait for Michael and Sister LaToya after concerts, and Michael followed Sister Janet's tradition and worked with Prince's protégés of the time, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They provided a lot of production on his 1995 album History, Past, Present and Future Book 1. In 2000, Prince held a press conference in which he defended Michael immensely. The interview was held in a boxing ring, and Prince was asked who would win in a fist fight, you or Michael Jackson. He answered, "Michael is not a fighter, he's a lover." This is a quote from Michael's song The Girl Is Mine. He also appeals to the press to leave Michael alone with lie stories they used to publicate. Chapter 8: Posthumous Jam. Michael Jackson died on June 25, 2009. Prince honored his legacy as often as he could. He mashed up his performances of the times Cool with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough from Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, and also performed renditions of his songs Wanna Be Startin' Something and the Jackson 5 hits I Want You Back and Dancing Machine. And also One Time Shake Your Body featuring Stevie Wonder and Sheila E. in the legendary jam session. He said about Michael, "It's sad to lose someone you love." Michael's nephew Austin Brown even claimed MJ told him that he discussed working with Prince again, and Prince praised his voice when meeting him. Chapter 9: Sometimes It Snows in April. Prince died 2016 in spring. Man, I'm a huge fan of both, and there are some points where I can't really decide. Of course, I'm Team Michael Jackson, but I think Prince is an extraordinary figure in pop culture, and I love his music almost as well I do appreciate Michael Jackson's work. And it's really nonsense that they didn't get along each other quite well. So, what can I say about them? They are two geniuses who really, really liked each other. Man, they were friends. This is dedicated to the MJ Cast, my favorite podcast ever, and to my other favorite podcast, Mr. Chris and his Soul Brother Show. I love you, man. And thanks, Jamin and Q, for letting me be part of your project. And I will enjoy your roundtable discussion on Prince. I love you all. Thank you.